Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mama Benedict. It's my first live. Like I said, welcome. And glad you're here with us, or me. And if you have any questions about whatever, I'd be thrilled to answer those if I can. I do have one question from one of my videos that I wanted to answer. Anyway, but still, welcome. It's my Mama Benedict channel. I'm Marie Macolillo, and it's great to have you with us, with me. Let's see. So this was from Conrad K, and he was asking this. Mama, tell us, how did you meet him, meaning my husband, Ernest? What made you choose him when you had just met him? What made you realize he is the one among many Americans? And did you do a second wedding in Africa too? Or was his family invited from Tanzania? And I think that's a fantastic multiple answer question. And so thank you so much, Conrad K. So let's see, Mama. Okay, so one, how did I meet Ernest? I know I answered this in in somewhere else, but that's okay. Ernest and I met on a website called eHarmony. It's eHarmony.com. eHarmony. It's a very thorough website that you have to pay money for, and there's a lot of questions, and it's and everything. So both Ernest and I, before we met each other, we really liked that setup. So anyway, so we were matched on there, and that's how we met. So that's that one. And if you have any more questions about that, I can answer. What made you choose him when you had just met him? So first, he was so, it just took me by surprise because he was very pursuing, and I knew it was genuine, and that was really meant a lot. But I just want to say hi to everybody. Oh my goodness, look at all these people. Hello, hello, hello. Karibu. Anyway, so when we met, like a week after we were matched, we purposely said, we don't want to write a ton of emails. We don't want to do this talking on the phone. We're just going to meet up. So we met, and I was just so, he is so intelligent. Ernest, EBM. He is so smart. I mean, he's one of 13 Macolillos that are just, and their whole family is so smart. But anyway, I sat there. You know how people, like in the Bible, you know how people would sit at Jesus' feet and listen? That was me. I mean, I know he's not God, so no, but Ernest, he talks and talks and talks, and he's so full of information, and it's just so fascinating. And I was just so taken, and he's such a great teacher, even when he doesn't mean to be. He's just an incredible teacher. So, wow, I was so taken. And he's handsome. Yeah, absolutely. For me, he's so handsome. What made me choose him? I think, we have free will, but the Holy Spirit led us together and all that. So, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, yeah, but he's certainly handsome, and he's genuine. One of the things that we discussed early on, besides that we are really Catholic, that was a real big thing for us. So we have the basic, like the same foundation. We really believe in being Catholic in the church and Jesus and everything, was that we don't lie, that we always tell the truth. Okay, I'm not talking about, did you wash your hands? I'm talking about like really important things, because communication is so important, and lying is huge for us. So, even with the kids, we tell them all the time. We say, we would rather you tell us the truth now than, okay. Yeah, I will answer Bruce's question. Bruce, I promised to answer your question. I just wanted to finish answering Conrad's question. I promise. Okay. I promised to get to you. And I already said hi and Karibu to everybody. Oh yeah, I do have a sister, but she's already married. The Salambas. She actually looks almost identical to me, even though we're 10 years apart. This is a total tangent, sorry, but I happen to see that. She's got blonde hair, but we look almost identical. I've been into her work over the years, and they've mistaken me for her. But she's married. Anyway, okay, so I mean, just he was so genuine, so real and honest, and he's not chivalrous. That's not the culture. But I tell you, he really believes in that passage from scripture from Ephesians, I believe it is Ephesians 5, I'm pretty sure, where he says where it says, love your wife like Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Ernest really believes that. And I know he does. I mean, he gets on my nerves. I drive him crazy too. But for real, like Ernest lays down his life for me. He lays down his life for our children. He's amazing. And I'm so blessed that he's my husband. Okay. Right? I know. It's the Ugandan village wife. He is totally genuine. And it's crazy. I mean, he screams. Everybody says, is he mad at someone? But no, but he is. He's really genuine, and I appreciate that he he means what he says, and he says what he means. That's in the Bible too. Don't ask me which scripture, but anyway, okay. So what made me realize he was the one? All kinds of things all together, but I prayed about it. I mean, like I've said before, my faith is really important to me. I mean, I asked people too, but I really just took time to weigh the pros and cons, because of course you do. I mean, nobody says, well, just because I was asking Ernest the other day in a video, just because you fall in love with someone doesn't mean you should marry them, because it might not be right. You have to know. So, but all of those things together, it was very obvious. And actually we were engaged without being engaged. We both knew we wanted to get married to each other. It was kind of cute. Anyway, okay. So did we do a second? Okay, first I'm going to answer the last question, which is, was his family from Tanzania invited? His family in Tanzania was invited, but there's no way. Do you know how much a ticket costs? I mean, you all know that like a professor's salary is like $1,500 a month in Tanzania, okay? And that's how much a ticket would be. And not to mention all the other things that come with coming here. Even if we were to put them up in wherever we live or whatever, I mean, there's so many other expenses. There's no way. So unfortunately, no one was able to come. But we sent lots of photos to them and all kinds of things like that. In fact, remember that you have to remember when you're thinking of the United States of America, it's huge. Enormous. It's not this tiny little European country. It takes days to go from the West Coast to the East Coast, days and days and days. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of miles. So our wedding was in Southern California, which is on the West Coast. And then my parents lived in Southern California. My sister did, and I had an aunt and uncle that lived there. But then everybody else was all over the United States. I had family in Florida, North Carolina, New York, Tennessee, Montana, Kentucky. I'm probably forgetting somebody, sorry. But I have people everywhere. There's no way, So even it just wasn't possible. It's so expensive. Tickets are, it was May, so you're heading into the summer season. Tickets are just too expensive. So unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of family, but what the family we did have, it was really great. And I'm so grateful. And we had friends. I had dear friends that came all the way. They brought their children on a flight all the way from San Jose, California. We had friends that drove all 3-4 hours down from they lived where my parents live, and they came all the way down to San Diego for the wedding. Some people had never been to a Catholic wedding before, and they were, it's long. It's not, do you take each other and kiss the bride? It's not that fast. There's a whole thing to it, so a lot of people came. Anyway, I know I was going off and I'm sorry about that. Okay. So I just want to finish with that last question from Conrad K. Did we do a second wedding in Tanzania? No, we did not. Ernest didn't think that was important. And so we didn't do it. I think it just depends on your tribe and maybe even your family. And it was fine for me because actually we got married May 1st. And we left for Tanzania on May 30th, I think. And we got to Tanzania, it was June 1st or something, because how all the flying and time and everything. And then like 2 or 3 weeks later, so this is a month, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, or it was 2 weeks into our trip to Tanzania, I tested positive for pregnancy. And I got so sick. This was before the famous people went onto TV and said, oh yeah, I have hyperemesis, and they're throwing up and doing, so I was so sick. So actually we didn't get to do very much of anything. I mean, I thank God that I got to go to Kigoma. We flew from Dar and we got to go to Kigoma, and I met his father, who's now passed. May he rest in peace. And I got to meet his mother. I didn't even get to meet all of his siblings, but so no second wedding. That's okay. See, I'm wearing something African. Ernest, it's nice. He brings me things, or I used to have 2 really pretty dresses he gave me when we were engaged. They don't fit anymore. So I gave them to our friend Doris. She was so excited. Doris is from Kigoma. We have some friends that live near us that are super close. Anyway. Okay. So that I'm done with Conrad, and I really appreciate that question, Conrad. So let's see. I'm trying to see if I can. Okay. So, okay. Kofi, I cannot answer your question about the DS260 because I have no idea. And I apologize. And Ernest is out taking care of the children. So he cannot answer that. Here's the question. Let's see if I can show. So if you wouldn't mind messaging Ernest or asking on one of his videos, I apologize. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you so much. That's really sweet. Okay, here is Barbara Sara. Do I have a plan to add more kids in the future? Okay. So we had Benedict, and then we had 2 miscarriages, which is not talked about in African culture. And and then we had Claire and Faustina. And I'm 44. That my obstetrician gynecologist says that I'm perfectly okay to have more children, but we just don't know, honestly. Being pregnant for me is really, really, really difficult, and I'm sick the whole time. And then the times that I've given birth have been very traumatic. So I love children, absolutely love children. I mean, I'm totally impatient. I'm the first one to tell you that. But anyway, so I can't answer that. God knows, but I don't. Okay. So thank you, Barbara Sada. Okay. Oh, thank you, all of you. Okay. Let's see. That's so sweet. Okay. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your name because I don't want to mess it up. Because you know how many people pronounce Makulilo wrong here in the United States? Benedict. Okay. He's in fourth grades, and he's 10. He has a physical education teacher who for years has said his name is Makulio. And she's so sweet that I can't correct her. It's the sweetest thing ever. So I'm not going to try. But anyway, thank you for saying beautiful girls. I appreciate that. All right, here's the thing. And I want to be totally honest. First of all, you need to know what you want to do in your life. You can't just go seek out a woman somewhere. You know, Ernest already knew that he wanted to live his life in a Western country. And so he already knew he was going to marry most likely a white woman. Zungo. I mean, what? What is it? Ernest is right there. What? Mzungu. Anyway, I'm getting dizzy, confused. So he already knew. But you don't want to start your life saying, oh, I want to marry some beautiful girl in America. It's kind of backwards. What does God want you to do? Whether your God is Jewish, Muslim, Christian, or you have a tribal religion or nothing at all, you need to know, because if you just go meet a girl, this not going to work. And most Americans are going to probably question if you're just dating them or whatever for a green card. I mean, so depending on where you live, it's very hard. I don't know if anybody has experienced this, and I have, to have a online relationship with somebody that lives far away. Before I met Ernest, I had an online relationship with someone that lived in Ireland, but was from Nigeria. And we never ended up meeting. And it was just too hard. It was way too hard. I mean, we talked on the phone and all of those things, but it was just crazy. I don't care what anybody says. Until you actually meet someone face to face, it's too hard. So anyway, if you come to the United States and you want to meet young ladies, then you could either do like a Match.com, eHarmony. Don't get on those weird ones that are just for hooking up, because I mean, I'm sure you understand, if I'm Catholic, you know my opinion about sex before marriage. So, but you can meet people in a lot of ways here. So, if you don't do an online thing, just go places, libraries, events. You know how many people have met each other and gotten married because they met each other in a grocery store, a supermarket, things like that. So I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but just think about what really is real for you. I hope that's okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. This one is interesting. This is an interesting question. Uh-oh. No. What happened? Sorry. Oh, God. What did I do? Oh, no. Hold on, everybody. I don't know what I did. Have no idea. Ernest! I'm so sorry. Ernest! I think I turned it off. I'm so sorry. I don't know. What did I do? I was trying to click on something. Did I turn it off? Did I turn it off?
Yeah, you closed.
Oh, and there were so many good questions. Sorry.
No, you can continue.
Okay.
I think so.
Oh, thank God. What's happening? Maybe we should stop and then restart. I don't have anything. That's why. So take one off. Sorry, everybody.
I don't know what's like. It appears like they are on two online. Oh,
Okay, so now we're back, right? Think we're okay now. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay. So how do I scroll up for these? How do I scroll up?
you said you know how to use Mac.
I do, but it wasn't. Sorry. No, up to these ones up here.
You go up this way.
Okay. So here, I'm so sorry about the feedback. I'm so sorry. Okay. So let's see if I can answer some of the questions from before. Okay. Home finance. So life and social. Hi, Marie. Oh, Bruce. Yeah. You asked me another question about home finances, paying off your credit cards, and who's responsible for buying things. Okay. So I'm going to answer this one, but I'm going to try and not do it too long because the baby really needs a nap. Okay. Hi, Bruce. So, first of all, how do we handle home finances? Okay, Ernest obviously is the one who actually makes money. I stay home and take care of the children and things like that. Ernest is huge with helping here, though. But we don't have separate bank accounts. We trust each other completely. And I know there's some people that have to have separate bank accounts, but that's just for us. Anyway, I would never recommend separate bank accounts unless you had a special business or something. Like example, Ernest could read any of my emails, YouTube, Facebook, anytime he wanted, if he wanted to, because he knows all my passwords. And the same goes for him. I could do that too. We just trust everyone implicitly. So so basically, paying off our credit cards. So it took us a long time to pay off the credit cards, and we used our tax refund and things like that. But here's the thing. You don't want to pay off credit cards. Don't get in debt. If you don't have to, because it's so bad. 25% every month, they charge you 25% of what you owe them. And that goes on your bill. That's crazy. Who's responsible for buying things at home? Okay, so I'm primarily the shopper, for the most part. I buy the kids' clothes. I buy things to clean the house or decorate the house, and even going grocery shopping for food and items such as that. But Ernest goes shopping too a lot. So because he likes to pick out his own food when he's making his food, and he does a lot of cooking, which I love. So he likes to pick out his things, but he will send me to get like certain beans or whatever if he doesn't have time, because he works a lot. Plus he has his 2 YouTube channels and like so many other things. So sometimes he'll send me. So yeah, thanks, Bruce. Okay, let's see. Do you know, Ernest has just popped in, and I wanted to tell you that the Ugandan village wife, what she said this. I'm gonna put it up. Oh, why did it do that? I clicked on it. Sorry. Okay, so there we go. So she says, even on YouTube, your husband is so real and genuine. I just wanted to share that. Thank you. Okay, so new comments. Okay, so there is a gentleman that wants to know about filling out the DS-260, and I told him he'd have to comment on you. So, okay. So I already answered that. Thank you, everyone. And there's somebody that's completely MCA, any vacancy in the US. So like, again, you need to contact Ernest about that EBM. Okay, so Barbara Sada, I don't know if you say Barbara Sarah or how you say it, excuse me. I'm gonna click on that and, oh, I did it again. I don't know why it does that, but I know how to get back there.
That's when it disappears.
Oh.
That's when I asked you, do you want them?
See, but I'm so sorry, but here, if I want to go here and I click it, you don't do that. See? Oh, down here.
On the left.
Oh, okay. See, I had my Mac years ago and it was different. Did the church disown me after getting married and having kids? I think that that you might be confused. And okay, so I was a sister and a nun, and I was in temporary vows. And those temporary vows expire every year. So they were expired. So I was no longer obligated by the church to be a sister. So I was free to do what I wanted. The church really doesn't disown anybody. If you really know the church, it's Holy Mother Church. And I know that there are humans within the church. Excuse me. There's a lot of allergies and my nose is itching, but there are a lot of humans make up the church here on earth. And so it's really hard when we hear things from people that tell us things that are not correct about the church. And so I promise you that the church does not disown people that leave religious life or the priesthood, or if you're a seminarian and you leave, that doesn't happen. And even if you say you left and you were still in vows, or you were still a priest and you ran away, which is scandalous, but the church doesn't disown you. It wants you back. So we need to remember the church has a heart, and it's Jesus Christ. So, no. In fact, I have a sacramental marriage with Ernest. So, no. I think that it's important to know that the church is loving, whether you meet bad people or good people. But remember that Jesus Christ is at the heart of the church, and he loves you infinitely. And sometimes it's really hard because I've had priests or sisters or just regular people tell me things that really hurt, but that doesn't mean that they're true. So there you go. Our kids are baptized. In fact, Benedict made his first Holy Communion a couple years ago. Okay. Hey, David. Here we go. I did it finally. What kind of car do you recommend to a starter in the US? Okay, it depends on how many people. So if you're just one or two, I would recommend like a small sedan. And what I mean by a small sedan, I'm talking about maybe like a Ford Escort, or you want something that has 2 seats in the front, 2 seats in the back, and 4 doors, because I have friends that have 2 doors, and trying to get in the back is a joke for anybody, even kids, because you're trying to crawl behind. But honestly, you want to get a used car if you can. But I wouldn't just get a used car from anywhere, because there are people that will lie to you and not tell you the truth. You should be able, any car you buy, you should be able to have a mechanic look at it from outside of the dealership or wherever you are. They should allow you to have a mechanic look at it to make sure it's okay. A new car you shouldn't really have to worry about. But here in Belton, we go to this certain mechanics, Belton Transmission. It's a plug for them, even though nobody else lives in Belton. But they will look at the car you're going to buy for free to make sure that it's safe and reliable. But honestly, you have to be so careful about that, because we know plenty of people who ended up with we know somebody that bought a used car from a used car lot, and it ended up with tons of problems. And they were new to the United States, and they didn't know the questions to ask. And so please, don't just go and buy a car, and especially don't ever buy a car at night. You can't see things. Never, ever, ever. And remind you that people that are selling you something want to make money, whatever it is they're selling. So they're going to do whatever they can to sell it to you. I'm not saying that people lie all the time, because that's not the case, but especially car salesmen, they only make money when they sell a car. It's like a realtor, somebody that sells houses here in the United States. They only make money when they sell a house or get somebody to buy a new house. Okay. So that, so I highly, highly recommend having somebody that knows cars, a mechanic, even if you had to pay $100. I mean, how much do you think it's going to cost you in the long run if it's a bad car? We call it a lemon. That means it's a bad car. And so you don't want to do that. But I honestly, if you're just one or two people, I'd get a very small, don't get a smart car. And I'll tell you why you don't want a smart car. A smart car will get you killed because the force of impact will kill you, but the car won't get ruined because it's so sturdy. And they're so tiny. I mean, I could see that in Europe, but not here. Here we have big cars and roads and people drive really fast. And okay, so I heard that if you, in Tanzania on the roads, if you're just driving from place to place, not like inside Dar like that, but it's 35 miles an hour. I'm not sure what that would be kilometers, but 35 miles an hour here is on a side street in a business district. We, on the highways, most highways are 65 miles an hour now. So that's almost double. And so it's also good to practice driving because if you drive too slow here, you will cause an accident. I know that's kind of a tangent, but so I highly recommend that you look at reviews. Reviews is a big thing here in the United States. Reviews, talk to people. If you go on places like, well, I can only think of, there's Kelley Blue Book. Kelley Blue Book, Kelley, Kelley, I think that's what it is. And then blue, like the color blue, and then book. Just type it into Google, Kelley Blue Book. It'll tell you about different cars, what they're worth, even if it's a used car, and what it should have. So I hope that answered your question. I probably answered too much, right? Sorry. Okay. My husband's the king. Yeah, so that makes me his queen, right? Thanks. That's from Benin. And I'm not going to mess up your name. God bless you. Let's see. How difficult. Oh, okay. So let me see. Did it again. Man, I feel like Britney Spears here. I did Google Chrome. Is it this one? No. Sorry, I did. I really tried. There, sorry. Thank God for Ernest. Okay, how difficult was, thank you so much for being so involved. I don't know how to pronounce your name correctly. Is it Barbara Sarah or Barbara Sarah? But thank you for being so involved in this live. Wow. How difficult was your life from a sister to wife? What was the most challenging moment? What is the relationship from other sisters? Okay, I actually would have to do a whole, and I'm actually planning on it, a whole different video on this. So actually, I spent over a year when I was no longer a sister, and then dating and becoming, and then being married. So there was a time with that. What is a relationship from other sisters? So I still actually am in touch with some of the sisters that I knew in the convent and monastery. When in the monastery, it was a different relationship. So they're really like family to us, and we're like family to them. We really keep in touch, and it's really special. Now they're cloistered, so they don't get out. So it's a little different. But one of the sisters from the convent where I was, they do teaching and things. So they go out. Her name is Sister Benedicta, and I actually got to see her and introduce my family to her a couple of years ago. We visited. It was the first time I had seen her in over 20 years. So, but she's very, very busy. But we email or write occasionally. So, and I actually have friends now that used to be sisters. One of them, she's the godmother of our children. So, that, but anyway, so I promise I'm going to do a video because my friend Emily, that was my roommate in college, she's begging me to talk about what my life was like as a sister and a cloistered nun and all of that. So I promise to do it. Okay. Yeah, he said, okay, so here's Francis. I don't know, let me see if I can, here we go. Oh, not again. I even pushed the corner button. I just
on the corner here. You come here. You see, this is the Chrome.
Okay.
Click here.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I was on the corner. Francis, you said, did the church disown you after you decided to get married and have kids? I thought I answered that correctly. How am I not answering that correctly? So, okay, so basically, maybe the question is, and I think I understand. Okay, so let me see. I'm so sorry about, my nose is itching so bad from allergies.
Make it easier for you. Just like, for instance, in the military in Africa.
Right.
When you join. There is no conflict.
Yeah, see, that's what okay.
That's the first thing. So the sisters here, there are different vows even there, but here you can renew until a certain time you go for the.
And it's not permanent.
Yes. So that's, I think,
okay.
That's why you get out of there is a complete.
Okay, and I understand that. So see, that's okay. So I apologize for that because I wasn't totally clear on that. Okay. So the church, meaning the church never disowns anybody. Can I say that? Can I say that? I was trying to make that point that that's not something that actually happens. Okay. I guess family disowns their family or whatever, but the church does not do that ever. You're always welcome. Okay. I know it's different in Tanzania, at least. I mean, they can they can kick you out or not let you in a church if you want to go to mass. I get that, but that doesn't happen here in the United States. It's just not that way. Okay. So let me explain once again. The vows, poverty, chastity, and obedience that I had were temporary. They weren't permanent at the time because you have like maybe 5 years where you have temporary vows because you're still learning and finding out if this is what God is calling you to. And then at that end, there's something called final vows or solemn vows, and it's forever. I didn't end up in final or solemn vows. And I didn't actually choose to leave. I was very, very, very sick. And the sisters thought that meant that I did not have a vocation to being a sister, which is fine. I'm at peace with it. And I understand. Let me explain something. There are a lot of European saints that you can find them. And like, for example, Saint Teresa of Lisieux or Teresa of Lisieux, she was so sick. I think she had some type of tuberculosis, and this was in the 1800s, and she died, and it was very bad. There's lots and lots of saints, they lived in their communities, but in bed. They were so sick and they were dying. Modern day, right now. Oh, and I want to apologize I just found out the other day that doing this means I'm not paying attention to you, to all the Africans. And I apologize. This is a very common American thing. From different parts of Europe, people wave their hands. I'm totally paying attention to you. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. So I talk with my hands, but I am paying attention to you. So anyway, okay. So modern day religious life is not set up for a sister, priest, brother, whatever, to be laying in bed for their entire life like that. It just isn't. It's just not set up that way. So if you can't live the life, like the schedule and everything, then I get that really they understand that God is not calling you to this life. And I'm at peace with it. It hurt at the time, but I'm at peace with it. I mean, look, I have this amazing family. So does that answer the question? Because I didn't purposely leave, or they didn't purposely kick me out. It wasn't like that. So I only have 5 minutes. Ernest is telling me. So thank you for all the kindness. Is Carrie, North Carolina, a good city? This is, I'm going to try to go here. See if I can do it. It's Carrie, North Carolina. Okay. It's Cary, Carrie, North Carolina. Honestly, I have no idea. I have family that lived in Carrie, but I never met them. It's outside of Raleigh and Durham, so I'm assuming it's actually quite expensive. Ernest is a fantastic source for finding places that are nice but not expensive in the United States. Because let me tell you, it's not all about the major cities. Those are always going to be very expensive. If you're talking about Chicago, LA, New York, Boston, whatever, you want to stay away from those major cities unless you have a college or you have a university scholarship. That's the only way, because it's just too expensive. I think that's a good question. Do you know this person, Ernest? I wonder. Let's see. John Mbugwa?
From Kenya.
Yeah. Okay. So I would love to know if a degree holder who wins green card lottery, how they'll be affected if she feels like they're behind when they start their life in the United States. Of course you do. I mean, can you imagine? We know friends. You probably saw the one on EBM's Kala. He came to the United States. He was still doing his doctorate. Of course you feel like you're behind, but you're starting a new life. And you take any job you can, I promise you, or it's going to be terrible. Wash dishes, clean toilets, whatever you got to do to make money. It's not beneath you. Okay. Did Jesus die on a cross? I mean, nothing's beneath us. You have to make the best of a difficult situation. So yes, you're going to feel bad, I would assume, because you've worked so hard for your degrees, and then you go somewhere and they don't mean anything, or you can't get a job right away, but that is the reality. So, and even like, for example, nurses, doctors, professionals, CPAs, things are different here. So you can't just start right up. You have to get a certification or things like that. So I think what you need to prepare yourself, if you get the green card lottery, you win, and then you come here, or that you have a degree, you are worth a lot, but you're starting new and you've got to make a go of it. So it's going to take a little bit, and that's okay. There are plenty of Americans who graduate university and they never use their degrees ever. It's just tough. I have a friend that did social work and he sold insurance. So, okay. So, what cities are considered safe? I can't answer that. Another one for EBM. All right. So I didn't see any of my American friends, but that's okay, because we love them too.
I'm American.
Ernest is American. He's behind this camera. Anyway, these are excellent questions, and I apologize if I wasn't able to answer them for you, or I didn't answer them the way you wanted me to. I can't apologize for my accent, because, I still have a hard time understanding Ernest, and Ernest still has a hard time understanding me. So maybe you can use the closed captions. That really helps me sometimes and I've watched just a couple of my videos to see, and the closed captions, they usually come out pretty good. So you can do that. And so here, for next time, I would like to know what you want me to answer, and when is a good time for me to do videos for you. Now, remember, if you're over in Africa or Europe or Australia or the East, it's going to be big time difference. So you have to remember that. And you can always, if you don't watch it live, you can always watch it later. But I love having this family on YouTube. This is so great. I thank you all for supporting me, from coming over from EBM. Thank you so much. Now, the last thing I want to say is COVID's real. If you haven't seen my videos, it's real. Take care of yourselves. Please, please, please. And also, God bless you. God bless your families. And you're always welcome here at Mama Benedict. God bless. Bye-bye. I got it. I'm going to do it. Here you go.
Thank you, Marie. I have to go to the meeting now.
I better get a busu.
Okay, I have to quickly go.
Do you understand how much I miss you?
Marie, we'll talk about it later. I have to go to the meeting.
You're killing me.
Seriously, I have to quickly
Okay,
run
go.
to the meeting.
You better
I
clean
won't
this up.
tell them.
Where's Faustina? You better pick this up. We're just gonna destroy it.